Would it be considered anti-Semitic?
I'm sorry, ask would it be considered anti-Semitic? Well, say that again, I'm sorry.
Would that be considered anti-Semitic
To what?
to have this badge?
For you or for me or what? Well, they say, of course, the Zionists disparage us and call us self-hating Jews and so forth. But it's the right thing to do, because my religion is distinctly not Zionism. It's to be subservient to God. We're forbidden to occupy. We're forbidden to kill or steal. So it's against our religion, and the very religious communities universally are opposed to the establishment of the state and the murder in Gaza.
So that the observation is noted in the Torah and throughout the Torah and throughout Judaism.
Right.
However, but to say that, isn't it a contradiction? Wouldn't it be is that a contradiction to wear that badge then? To say that we uphold to uphold it, but at the same time to be...
Judaism is to be subservient to God. It's
yes, a religion, yes.
It's a religion of 3,000 years. Zionism is totally something else. Zionism is a nationalism that started 100. Here I show this picture. Zionism started by a movement of heretics, people who were against God. Kim, help me. It was established by people. I'm sorry.
No problem. I'm just...
It was established by heretics, people who detested the religion and decided they wanted nationalism. Theodor Herzl, Ben Gurion, Jabotinsky, all these people were non-religious. They wanted something entirely different. So we as Jews oppose this. Excuse me. I'm sorry for a second.
No problem, brother.
Ik ken de sfeer. Vaak doen van deze af. Deze? Azoi. Deze. Ik ken de eindelijk van de slide. Maar deze kwijt eigenlijk. Deze kent ze eraan uit. Creëren. Doe azoi. Azoi. En nog meer deze. Deze. Azoi wie je kent dit. Deze.
And even for...
To do this.
No, Rabbi. It's okay. I understand this.
So basically, the Jewish people around the world, when the Zionists came along and they said that they want to establish the state, the Jewish people stood in fast opposition around the world. They stood up in opposition. They said we are totally opposing this establishment of the state, and we remain fast in that opposition to the state around the world till today. If you go to Jerusalem, you'll go to New York. You'll go where New York is the second largest concentration of religious Jews. Again, they are anti the establishment of the Zionist state. We are simply the voice. We are coming and are trying to educate, to show the people, that the Jewish people will never accept this occupation. And again, I apologize, but I'm doing two things at one time. It's a little hard for us to concentrate. If you'll go anywhere, something is wrong. I'm sorry. If you'll go anywhere around the world, it's very simple. Look for yourself. Take the time to educate yourself. It is the Jewish people give their lives for their religion, the very religious communities. We have families. We don't have family planning. It's an average of 7 children or so, and you will see that they don't have one Israeli flag in our communities, even though they give their lives for religion. Kosher costs money. The Jewish attire costs fortunes to our lifestyle, and they're poor people. And still in all. Jetzt steigt es heran. Kim, du an. so it has to be a reason. If that people are giving their lives for their religion, it means so much to them. How come they're not supporting a state that says that it's critical for the Jewish people to have this state? Why wouldn't they be the first to support it? And yet you will find, whether it is here in the U.S., whether it is in Jerusalem, in Al-Quds, in Mea Shearim, whether it's in England, Stamford Hills, we're the most religious community, or Canada, around the world, wherever, invariably, the more the religious, the more anti-Zionist. In our communities, you won't find Israeli flags. There is a reason for this. And so people should respect and just simply use their basic common sense and logic. Something is wrong. They're being sold a bag of goods. It can't be both at the same time. That are very religious people who died for God, that our grandparents were killed in Auschwitz, we died for our religion, and all of a sudden they're not supporting this critical issue for Judaism, the Zionist state of Israel. So it must be that the Zionist state of Israel is not critical. On the contrary, as we state, it's the greatest cancer to Judaism.
And when you say a cancer to Judaism,
yes, because you'll think about this. First of all, they're committing these atrocities, killing people in our name, and getting support for that because supposedly it's a religion.
But I don't want to say, but I want to say, however, we see that the American support for the Israeli effort has been there. So what with that happening, what do we stand as? When you say that you oppose Zionists, we see that this is the argument. The Palestinian people versus the Zionist people. But most people who are really uneducated will only see that the Zionist is the Jew man.
That's part of the terrible tragedy, that people do not understand to differentiate, because the Zionists have the power of the media. They were a British mandate, the British supported them, and they were given billions of dollars, and they use that for the most expensive PR, for the lobbying bodies, for AIPAC and so forth, so that if anybody dares to speak up against them, then they declare they're anti-Semitic, and they ruin their political future. It's committing political suicide if you speak up against Zionism, as very well everybody said. Just Cory Bush just lost, and others, and there was a Congressman Finley wrote a book about this, that he lost his job as congressman, all because he stood up and was sympathetic for Palestine.
But would you call what's happening to the Palestinians a Holocaust?
What's that? Say that again.
Would you call what's happening to the Palestinians a Holocaust?
I don't like to use that word, Holocaust. These are both, two of them are horrific genocides.
Yes.
But you can't confuse different issues. Well, I'll explain to you. My father escaped. The Nazis, he turned around and he tried to get his parents out from Hungary. But the Nazis did not allow Jews to leave. They wanted to exterminate them. The Zionists would love that the Palestinians should run away and not have and leave them alone. So you can't compare these two satanic, murderous and evil issues.
So what do you think, Rabbi? You a rabbi?
Yes.
What do you think would be the proper recourse?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What do you think would be the proper recourse to take?
Recourse, just like in South Africa, it was finally the grassroots, it was the people that put such pressure that finally the leadership had no choice but to do what was right, and they stopped the apartheid. Here, Jews lived till 76 years ago. We lived together for hundreds of years. Jews and Muslims, Christians, we lived, Arabs, Jews lived together in the same courtyards. We babysat each other's children. There is no reason why we cannot coexist.
So people need to respect the Torah. And if they had respect unto the Torah, then that would solve
You're asking
the
what
problem.
the world should say, hey, you see, that's how we live together. We can live together. It is very, it's not as complicated as people make it. It's only the Zionist fear-mongering and their false accusations and vilification of the Palestinian people state that we can't live together. That's not true. Of course, the ones who committed atrocities and so forth, besides that, they should answer in court. But America Canada, these countries, Britain, let them, instead of giving billions of dollars to build walls and bombs, let them take money and reestablish those people who feel afraid because of what they did wrong. Let them move to the other countries, and then we can continue living together in peace. I'd like to run the rest of
This
this.
is a very important question. I'm going to ask you. Take the time. If I were the president
Yeah,
and you had an opportunity to sit down and speak to
right.
me, what is it that you would ask of me that would aid
I would
in a peaceful talk?
remind you that you are in this exalted position by God, and you have to answer to God, and not to be intimidated by these powers that are the lobbyists and AIPAC and so forth, and to see and study the issue, and you will see clearly that this is not a religious conflict. We can live together. You must remove the impediment to peace, called the establishment of the state of Israel, just like apartheid was totally criminal, and when it was removed, then we could live together, blacks and whites. It can be done. I can't shake hands with women. Thank you.